Thailand is opening up for tourism. The Thailand Prime Minister has announced plans to boost the Covid-crippled economy by reopening the country to visitors in 120 days. In this video, we delve into the details of the possibility of Thailand opening up for tourism in the next few months. If this is your first time on the channel or you have returned and like the content, then can I ask you to please like, share and subscribe. It really does help me and the channel to grow. Oh yeah, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss out on upcoming videos. And if you are interested in some cool links, then check them out in the links below in the description box. Prime Minister Prayuth Chan-ocha has announced that Thailand will reopen to visitors within the next 4 months as the nation seeks to find a way to lift the economy that has been devastated by the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking during a nationally televised speech on Wednesday the 16th of June, the Thai leader set out the government's ambition to revoke COVID travel restrictions that have lasted for more than a year, allowing tourists to return and hopefully revive the economy. The PM said, reopening the country is critical to start reducing the enormous suffering of people who have lost their ability to earn an income. It is said that Thailand, with a population of nearly 70 million people, has only administered 4.6 million vaccine doses so far, but Prayuth said that reopening to tourism was a calculated risk but necessary economically. Some tourist destinations should be ready for fully vaccinated visitors without any quarantine requirements before reopening across the entire country, with Phuket as the pilot. The country aims to vaccinate 10 million people a month from July and has ordered 105.5 million doses of vaccines for this year, more than the country's target. Thailand's economy is very reliant on tourism, and revenue in this sector has plunged by an estimated $50 billion due to the country's inability to welcome visitors amid the pandemic. Later this year, when travel restrictions are relaxed, fully vaccinated travellers, both domestic and foreign, will be allowed to visit Thailand and travel around the country without having to quarantine. From July, Phuket, which is Thailand's most popular island and has the highest percentage of vaccinated citizens, will begin a trial reopening in the hope of providing a roadmap for other parts of the country. The Thai government has managed to contain the virus somewhat by imposing strict border restrictions as the pandemic spread globally, limiting the cases reported there to approximately 202,264, according to data provided to the World Health Organization. The government's announcement that Thailand has secured 105.5 million doses of COVID vaccines in 2021, with plans already in place to secure more next year. The government is hoping to speed up its inoculation drive from July by administering an average of 10 million doses each month from then on. So, starting on July 1st, 2021, Thailand plans to reopen its doors to international tourists with a few caveats. Although currently experiencing its highest rate of infections and death due to COVID-19 since the outbreak of the pandemic, the country plans to move ahead with its previously announced plans to reopen tourism. The Tourism Authority of Thailand, TAT, has confirmed that from July 2021, the country will allow quarantine-free entry to vaccinated tourists from low-risk countries who enter Thailand via the island of Phuket. While more details still need to be confirmed, including what countries are deemed low risk, for now, the TAT says arrivals must be fully vaccinated or have received their first dose of an approved vaccine and must have tested negative not more than 72 hours before arrival. Upon arriving in Phuket, which by July Thai authorities say will have reached herd immunity, visitors must stay in a hotel approved by the country's Safety and Health Administration for the first 7 nights. While on Phuket, visitors are not required to quarantine and are free to leave their accommodation and travel around the island with few, if any, restrictions, visiting beaches, restaurants and entertainment venues as per normal. Visitors will be required to register at a government website and use an app that tracks their movements. After 7 nights on Phuket, visitors are free to leave the island to travel to other parts of Thailand. In preparation for tourists, many of Phuket's pandemic restrictions have been lifted, and the island's tourist-orientated businesses have been allowed to operate more or less normally. Until recently, Thailand seemed virtually pandemic-proof, with very few infections and even fewer deaths due to COVID-19. But a recent surge has caused authorities to put the country into semi-lockdown. However, the tourism-dependent country is really struggling from a complete lack of visitors over the previous year, and the government is keen to reverse the country's economic fortunes. So, what do you think? Is it feasible that tourists will return to Thailand? Comment below.